Oh, the furry future. Good day, everybody. So, this is an anthology. It's a pretty thick beast. It's got a lot of little short stories in it. This was published sometime in around 2014, 2015. Almost a decade old now. This book has a lot of furry names that you might recognize in it. It has my own as T.S. McNally. It has MC Haragath. It has Husketeer. It has Samuel Conway. You know, the wine drinking conchair that you all know and love and loathe. But here is the thing about the furry future. It also contains a person we're going to talk about today, because the furry future is here. It's a decade later. And one of the people featured in this book has certainly stuck her flag in a particular idea of what the future is, and that the future is here and it's now. And that is one Mary Loud. So Mary Loud, if you are familiar with the Ursa Majors, which we cover sometimes on this channel, you'll know that she's been featured on there quite a bit of times. I can't remember the count, so luckily this year she kept count for me. 64 nominations and 3 victories on that. But we'll get into that a little bit later. I'm probably going to cut this into 2 videos. First, we'll talk about the facts on the ground, about what happened with Mary Loud. And the second one, we're going to kind of go over a little bit my opinion on the furry future. Not the book, the anthology. Other people have already written reviews on it. I did the whole Predator versus Prey thing before Zootopia did. I was there a year before that got out. Ha ha ha. That's all my take on it. But basically, we're going to be talking about artificial intelligence. And because we're going to be talking about artificial intelligence, it's been a topic that's been stewing a little bit in the fandom for a bit. It's been a few years since, artificial intelligence started to really pop, and it's still sort of got people's imaginations and ideas of the future running wild in it. As I said, that's going to be probably more for the second video. This first video is going to be talking about about a furry who has fully embraced artificial intelligence, and has done so to the point where she now faces herself being removed from particular platforms, particular roles, and things like that. So first happened is that Mary Loud has fully embraced the concept of artificial intelligence, using it for art, using it for whatever the artificial intelligence can create. Because of this, and how the furry fandom in itself does not really look positively. Politically, it's a very contentious topic for people who are artists, seeing that there's a tool that's set out to, in a way, replace them, has been a very political, contentious topic within the fandom. People in the fandom who, if they do support artificial intelligence, are usually not. They're usually not outspoken about it, because the people who are against artificial intelligence are very outspoken and very against the concept of what it does, right? That it takes other people's artwork and it meshes it together in obscene ways and just kind of reposts things using different styles and stuff like that, and doesn't really create the work. It just uses the work of others, right? It's derivative. That's the more outspoken platform. Whereas the people who typically, say artificial intelligence, like, no, it's using these art pieces as inspiration to create its own creations. And that's their counter argument. So, as I said, very contentious topic, but let's just go over the facts for right now of the situation with Mary Loud being removed from Guest of Honor role at Furlandia, and other such things. Now, Furlandia was not the one to throw the first stone. In fact, they were kind of the last. They kind of pushed it to the end, right? They didn't make a statement until they kind of felt that they were forced to. And this is how it kind of started, is that Mary Loud is a a short story writer in the fandom. She's very prolific. As she said, she's gotten 63 Ursa Major nominations. When it all comes down to it, is that, she writes and she goes through a publisher in order to get her short stories published in anthologies such as, The Furry Future. At the end of the day, when it all comes down to is that publisher, seeing Mary Loud kind of embracing artificial intelligence, decided that they no longer wanted to work with her because a lot of the artists and people that work with the publisher, because the publishers like this usually usually license the art on the covers for these kind of books, and if they're working with a writer, they will also license like the artwork on a book, even if it is a single person. And that's sort of what it all came down to recently. And I think this is the thing that sort of broke the camel's back on Mary Loud being removed from a lot of places, is that this one person here, this is from Blue Sky, Red Claw here, like said, hey, like this, like Mary Loud is like replacing this, this cover art with, with her own AI generated art, right? And it was kind of seen as an affront, on the surface level, but behind closed doors, what was happening here is that the publisher who originally published Otters in Space to Jupiter Deadly, basically let her go and said that, and gave her the opportunity to license the artwork that was originally put on her book that was through the publisher. But, obviously Mary decided, no, I don't need to do that. I can use AI art instead of like basically changing the, like, instead of maintaining the legacy artwork that was drawn by a furry, they're going to use the artificial intelligence instead as a tool to basically not have to utilize that person's work for them, for their classic sort of artwork on the title. And Fuzzwolf replied with that. This sort of kind of led to behind closed doors, as Mary just doubled down and tripled down on artificial intelligence, it became a louder and louder thing that, people who are against artificial intelligence, which is probably a majority of furries, don't know what the exact number is. It's probably somewhere around I'd say probably 75% to 25% range, probably in that area. As an estimate, as a guess, but at the end of the day, what ended up happening is, behind closed doors, Mary was let go from the Furry Writers Guild. She's no longer listed as a person on the guild. I'm still there, even though even though it's been a little bit of a while since I've done fiction books, but I do write nonfiction, and I guess that still sort of counts, I guess, but it doesn't, like, I did what I needed to do to qualify to get into the Writers Guild, and then I've been coasting ever since, I guess. But that being said, she was let go of the Furry Writers Guild for her embracing of AI. And basically, also, for Furlandia, who was going to have her as a guest of honor because their theme was space, and Mary Loud loves sci-fi, which kind of explains the whole love of AI thing. But that being said, she was let go as the guest of honor. Now, Mary Loud was the one to kind of write first and to this response on I believe it was the 22nd of February. She basically posted a letter on her own website. I can't remember what the name of that website was. Sky something. Can't read. It's too blurry. Sky Harbor. But basically, her little website there has a blog, or has a post about an open letter to the chairman of Furlandia, who had let her go over this. And she states, honestly, that, you know, she was a prolific writer and had been awarded many times before artificial intelligence was even a thing. And that legacy does not get drawn into question because she now embraces artificial intelligence. So she's laying it down to the fact that this is more political opinion that was the reason for her ouster rather than any immoral or actual bad behavior. This is more political opinion towards artificial intelligence than it is towards her ability and prolificness as a furry writer over the years. Which is a fair enough position. And in response, after that letter was released on, you know, Sky Harbor, it was the day after that that Furlandia had sort of released their own sort of like statement as to her being let go from the Guest of Honor role. And it sort of, I've got to say, this one, like, even if you're anti-AI like a person, if you're like a full-on anti-AI person or pro-AI person, like if you're an anti-AI person, like this is where the concept of actions speak louder than words comes into play. Like, here's the thing: is that Furlandia here is removing Mary because she embraced AI, and that's the reasoning they give. And then on the second paragraph, they try to walk it back a little bit and go, well, we're not really making a political statement on usage of artificial intelligence within or without the thing. But it's like you are, because you took an action, right? Like, the thing about it is that, like, it opens the door, right? And I think the reason that they didn't want to make a statement, but they felt compelled to make a statement because, like, the people and the publishers that Mary worked for are clearly, like, not happy with the direction that Mary's going with the tool, with the idea of artificial intelligence. And so, like, they're kind of put in the middle of the rock and the hard place. And the publisher is more than just one author, right? The publisher works at the dealer's den and things like that. So, you know, it's hard to not get involved in that sort of bad blood kind of thing. And so at the end of the day, they probably felt compelled. It's like, well, if Mary's losing her position, you know, her relationship with her publisher at the same time, then we're going to have to, like, shift our position to kind of support the publisher, because the publisher, you know, does work and does things that are convention. So at the end of the day, Furlandia made that decision. Okay. And so those are sort of the facts on the ground. Artificial intelligence is becoming a big question and a big thing about our furry future. And unfortunately, for those who have kept silent about it for the last few years, it seems like it's the cat's out of the bag, as it were, or out of the spacesuit. The cat's out of the spacesuit, right? You're gonna have if leaderships are going to have to make decisions on artificial intelligence, they're going to have to make them soon. And what their stances on artificial intelligence are in the usage on it. So I have my own thoughts and opinions on this, but I wanted to save that for a second video. Just wanted to display what happened, what the beliefs are, what the consequences were, and all this other things. So I'm going to put my opinion on the situation on another video. So we'll see that I'll post that video 2 days after this one. So I'll see you then. So in the meanwhile, kick that like, kick the subscribe button, kick a comment in the comment section. Even if you're AI, I guess. I don't know. Have a good one.